Welcome everyone back to another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son George. I was my mother's caregiver. She was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Unfortunately, she passed on 1/1/2020, but we started TogetherForSharon.com in her memory. Today's guest is really incredible in so many ways. He's a friend, somebody who I really admire, and just every week I see him and hear him. He's just out there battling Parkinson's, but also one of the most incredible advocates around the world, in my opinion. So I wanted to welcome Thomas to the show. We have so much to get to, and it's just so exciting to finally get the opportunity to see each other and also talk.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is epic for me because, again, you are a host of your own show on Radio Parkies, which I definitely want to talk about. But maybe we could start off by you could explain a little bit how you got into Parkinson's awareness. And also, unfortunately, I know you're also battling the disease.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, young onset, in 2017. I had been struggling with my mental health at the time, and I'd went to see the doctor, and the doctor put me to the practice nurse, who then gave me medication for depression. And within that time, we thought at first it was this tremor developed in my hand. We thought it was a side effect of the medication, but after to and fro for about a year, I got sent to see a neurologist who did some tests, and was diagnosed on the 27th of December 2017 with young onset Parkinson's disease. And that's how I came to be in advocating, I suppose, because when I first got diagnosed, I kind of hit the ground running, as I say. I did my first 10K after I was diagnosed. I got in contact with Parkinson's UK, who were a great help to me. But there wasn't a lot of emotional help, psychological help. It was basic, just physical stuff, which I thought was strange, because this is a life-changing moment in your life that you would expect to get some sort of counselling at least. But that's how I came to be involved in Parkinson's and advocating for it.
Well, we send our love and support to you. The one thing I love about this show is that it brings people around the world together. I'm in South Florida in the US, and you're in the UK. So it's, this is a family.
Yeah.
I was shocked to find out there are over 10 million people in around the world, not just the US. We have about a million, I think more. It's progressing quickly here too. But when I found that out, that's what motivated me to reach out a year or two ago. And again, I'm so grateful for your time and friendship. And also, you bring up so many important points just to start that Parkinson doesn't just affect, the tremors in the body, the neurology, but also the mental health, which I think is a big issue, and enough people do not discuss it. So I think by you bringing it up and shedding light on it is very important. So thanks for that too.
Absolutely. I totally agree. There's a lot of things that people don't speak about, and we need to get rid of the stigma.
Yeah, I agree. And also, how did you get involved with radio? And maybe you could talk about Radio Parkies. I am a fan of yours. I've heard of the station, even from the US for many years. They're doing great things. Maybe you could touch on what made you want to be a voice out there on national radio.
Well, to be fair, I got involved with Radio Parkies by pure accident. I had, you know yourself, well, like the community is out there, especially in places like TikTok, X, and Facebook and whatever. And I got in contact with a few people, and I got very friendly with one of the DJs that was working on Radio Parkies, and she asked me to come on the show, just like you asked me to come on this show, the exact same thing. So I went on to the show, and we clicked it off. We were very funny together, so that was a good start. So she eventually went on holiday, and she asked me to take over her show for a couple of weeks while she went on holiday. And it just kind of led from there. When she decided to move into another job, she asked me to take over the show, and that was how I started. And it gives me a platform not only to play music and get people away from their daily struggles, but also to feed information to people. Excuse me.
What kind of music do you usually play on your show? And maybe you could tell us a little bit about the show.
We try and vary the music every week. I've got my cousin working with me because the two of us work well together. We basically just wind each other up, and it's funny, and it's a nice part of the day to just relax and listen to us. Taking advantage of each other. But we have 1 week we have rock. So no, the end of the Friday, last Friday each month we have Rock Friday, and then we mix it up with 70s, 80s, 90s, progressive rock, pop music, indie, reggae, you know, and we try and get a whole day. We try and include people like you heard a band called Delamitri.
Mhm.
No, the lead singer of Delamitri just got diagnosed last year with Parkinson's.
Wow.
So we try and get the holiday people like him, you know, to get some quotes off him even. I doubt we'll get an interview because they're quite big, but you never know. You can only ask. But it's a good way to spread information, especially, you know, if there's something coming out, events. If I get any stuff sent to me from Parkinson's UK, I can relate it. If I see stuff, I can relate it out to people.
Yeah, I think it's so important to use music too as a platform. I myself play guitar for about 20 years. I'm no professional, but music has affected me in my life forever. I remember even when my mother was struggling with Parkinson's disease, music therapy was something that kind of
Yeah.
took her, even for a few moments during the toughest time, kind of helped her forget, you know. So I think what you're doing
Yeah.
again is really inspirational. What are some of the goals you have or that you'd like to achieve by using your platform for advocacy for Parkinson's awareness?
I think for me that is to get more information out there. I'm really hot on mental health because I didn't get much mental health help at the beginning, and I realised how important it is because it has a massive effect on your physical being. When you're happy and your mental health's in good, you're more likely to go and exercise. You're more likely to go and no isolate yourself with people. You're more likely to go out and talk to people and engage in the community. So if we can get that information out there, where they can go, who they can see, you know, I'm quite passionate about it.
No, I think you're making amazing points. Everyone, please also go. Is it radioparkies.com or you can share?
RadioParkies.com. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. And please again support Thomas on all he does. It's really incredible. And now with technology, really can reach the world with the show. I want to share now a few little areas. First is how important the World Parkinson Congress is to me. I haven't been able to attend due to medical, my own issues, but it's incredible that they have these events. Hope to meet you and many of you listening in 2026 in Arizona. But if it wasn't for the World Parkinson Congress and technology, I don't think we would have met and see how much more powerful our voices are together. So I want to thank them and you again. This is an interview that Thomas did with me. It's probably over a year. See, July. It's amazing how quickly time
Wow.
goes. Yeah. But I want everyone, if you go to TogetherForSharon.com and click on interviews and then read much more in depth about with Thomas, you can actually read his bio, a lot of more really important information and also how you could reach him. But the most important thing is your website. I think it's
Yeah.
beautiful. And there's some exciting things we're actually going to do today. So if you go to Thomas C M C C A L L U M.com, and I'll share that in the video too. You can also subscribe, I believe, but follow along with some of the most important areas of Thomas's advocacy. I don't know if you want to touch on your website or kind of talk a little bit about it
Yeah.
as I scroll around aimlessly.
I set up the website for basically for me in the beginning, but for other people. And it's kind of to show you what's out there, what you can do, how you can help yourself. But also I show what I do photography wise, what I do music wise, so that you know you can realize that being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease is an awful thing. However, it's not the end of your life. And if you can still do certain things, do them or try and find a way around them. So I've got everything on there for a monthly blog, which, to be fair, I haven't kept up as much as I should have. But life takes over and other things happen, and I've been advocating for other stuff and working with Parkinson's UK as well. Just recently, you know, so, and
Yeah.
then as you see, we've got the radio show flyer there. Yeah.
I have been lucky enough to interview Parkinson's UK and make them a part of our show and all they
Yeah.
do. We really love them and all they do around the world to support awareness. And again, I really think you have to be really a family in this fight.
Yeah.
Why should I just kind of have Together for Sharon and do it on my own and not bring in everybody? You know, it just doesn't make sense. So that's what my mission and goal is, really to help promote everyone else out there, because I think you all do so many amazing things.
Mhm.
Plus, there's days that I'm kind of in, like you said, even mental health, where I want to, in a way, kind of give up, or I have something tough going on in my life. But then I go to TikTok and see your inspiring videos, and you get me motivated to want to keep doing this. So I thank you again for all the
You're
things you
welcome.
do. This is a fun one. This is exciting because it's very recent. Let me see if I can, and this, if you could talk a minute, but I wanted to try and play one of your songs.
Yeah.
I want to congratulate Thomas too live here, or recorded, but on his new album called On Any, oh, this is the song. Is that the name of the title or the song?
So the album's called On Any Other Day.
What motivated you to put out an album? I think it's amazing. I'm going to play a clip after you talk.
I had already recorded one album before diagnosis, and I'd started my second album when I was diagnosed, but I found I couldn't play guitar anymore because I'm predominantly right-handed, and that's the one I use for the rhythm in the guitar. So I had to find ways round about it, and I just kept searching to find ways round about it, which I did. I got some software and some plugins that allow me to play a keyboard and make up guitar riffs and bass riffs and all sorts of other things. But all the songs are all connected to what Build Me a Bridge. Build Me a Bridge was wrote, the very first song I wrote after I got diagnosed, because what I was saying to myself was, build me a bridge to get so that I can get to where I need to be okay. Not physically, but mentally. So the songs are all connected to.
I think that's beautiful. Is there one that you would want to, should I play the Build Me a Bridge, or?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Or hopefully this works out. If you don't hear it, let me know.
Pretend, have to pretend, have to pretend. So build me a bridge to where I should be. Carry me home with no sign of me. I wanna be there and happy to be. So build me a bridge, that's where I wanna be.
I think that's beautiful. Hopefully everyone listening, you were able to hear it, right?
Yeah.
That was beautiful. So, I mean, I'm waiting to, will you be performing this live, or is it really more just from the studio?
Well, do you know, I had thought about, you know, just putting the album out because it keeps me motivated, and I've started writing the third album. However, people are asking me, when do we get a chance to hear this live? So how I'm going to do it, I don't know. I'd need to try and get a band together, but that's for the future. That's for next year.
Are these are videos, right? Over here?
Yeah, I just make the videos because I think having a better visual helps.
I love it. Here, let's play one.
Together we'll run to the beach, skimming our stones to where they go. I'm looking at you and thinking of all that we knew. Remember those days of fun and light.
I hear some YouTube vibes in the back.
Absolutely. I'm a massive YouTube fan.
Man, yeah, I love when I growing up, the song One, and they were one of my favorites. This is beautiful, and I really appreciate you allowing us and the audience to listen. Please also, everyone, go to Thomas's website again, Thomas, CMCCALLUM.com, and then My Music. I was excited to have you on before that. I knew you had music released, and it was such perfect timing because I really I wanted to share it with everyone, and I've been sharing a lot of your posts around the world too.
I've seen it. seen that and I appreciate it.
I wish I
very
could
much.
do more. Wish we could, I want you to have, I always joke, we started a little YouTube. It's called PC Connections, where
Mhm,
I want to bring everyone together, and I don't care about my likes. I want your likes to go to
mhm.
1 million. If you don't have 1 million, I'm not happy. So everyone listening, please support Thomas, and he's on YouTube too. This is also other ways to reach out to him. I'm always, this is a great, more for business, but it's really beautiful site, brings a lot of medical doctors to me and together.
Yeah.
And then important, X is another way you can follow Thomas here. And he updates everything, and you can see the beautiful cover and beautiful person. I call you my brother in the fight for a cure for
Yeah.
Parkinson. So please support him. And this is x.com, Thomas C. McCallum, MCCLL. But again, I'll add this to the notes, I hope, for the YouTube if you're watching this afterwards. So just let me stop sharing. I really appreciate that. And now I wanted to shift the show a little to a little bit more about Thomas. I always joke and say it's my favorite part, but can you list 3 words that describe who you are?
Caring, passionate, and daft.
Love it. What is one moment or most memorable moment that stands out through most of your work with awareness that you could share?
I got asked by Parkinson's UK to help run a new, what would you call it, trial run of getting people mental health help, counselling and stuff like that, and it's still running at the moment. It's a 2-year trial, and that for me, it was an amazing thing.
Yeah, I think it's incredible when the organizations around the world work with individuals like
Yeah.
you, because no offense to them, but coming from the regular people like you and me really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So thanks for all that. And also for, again, shedding light on mental health, because just in the past decade in the USA is where that kind of now is becoming an issue.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's been neglected for decades before, but now is the time. So with people like you at the head of this, advocacy, it's very important. I think you're going to
Yeah.
bring amazing change. This next question is important to me. I like to bring the people in your life kind of into the forefront for a moment, but who helps you during times of struggle? I was a caregiver, and what tips could you give those listening to who are caregivers?
Yeah, I'm quite independent. Physically, I'm quite independent, but mentally, I have my brother and my sisters, 2 sisters, and my best friend James. I also sing in a massive choir. There's about 100 of us, and I connect with a lot of them. They let me be me,
Mhm.
but if I need help, I get help. I think for me, it's that Parkinson's is just doesn't affect me. It affects my whole family and my circle of friends. You know this as a caregiver, how it can affect you as well. So it's like a pebble in a pond, and then the ripple effect. So they need to get help, not just for us, but for the caregivers and the families, and give them a chance to, because it must be frustrating for them too, and emotional for them too as well.
We send our love to the whole family there and thank them for their care and their love, and we send it from the US to you also. I think it's important to always thank the families because, like
Yeah.
you said, it's a family in this. Uh, what would you recommend or tell someone if someone happens to be listening who might have just been diagnosed with Parkinson's? Is there any advice you could provide?
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do is do what I've done. I got in contact with other people with Parkinson's. Most of my friends, to be fair, are American. Because when I first got diagnosed, I couldn't sleep at night. So with the time difference, it's
Mm,
nearly 9 o'clock here, and it's about 3 or 4 o'clock your end.
yeah.
Yeah, so the people in America are still up. So I spoke to a lot of people like Chris, and the people I know. Get in contact with Parkinson's UK if you're in Britain. If you're in America, get in touch with the equivalent, and get in contact with people who have Parkinson's, because they'll help support you. They'll help you understand what's happening to you.
And it's funny, I never really liked TikTok. I didn't want to be on it. Then my mother, passed, and I looked for
Mhm.
support myself because I was kind of very sad. And then I discovered you and all the amazing kind of individuals advocating on there, and I fell in love with it. So now the problem is there's so many people like adding me, but I just want, no offense to the others, but I really just want
Mhm.
the Parkinson's community.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now it's like gone out of control. So I don't know.
yeah. Mine too. Mine too.
I
But
like, I
too.
actually I want to see Jess Thomas, and I can't find you. Sometimes I can't find you because there's so many people like about nothing to do with what we're trying to do. Is there anything you might have looked back 10 years and done differently? That's a question I always kind of consider.
I don't think I could have. I think I've been learning as I go along, and I couldn't have done it any different because I just I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I've gained a wealth of information and knowledge and care and attention for loads of people. And do you know what? I'm still happy to be here. Although this disease is a horrible disease, I'm still happy to be here and still making music and still advocating.
Yeah, and I love that you are. And every time you do anything, I always try and share it. But it's means so the world to see you kind of, even if you're struggling, but smiling, even
Yeah,
for those small moments. And that's what, again, the most important lesson today is how music really can kind of not slow the progression, but at least kind of make you
yeah,
forget for a moment.
yeah.
Who is your, it could be music, but who's your inspiration or hero? It could be musical, it could be just, general.
That's a very good question. Musically, I have very, very many, but at the moment there's an Irish guy called Foy Vance who's in his 40s, 50s, and he's just get signed to Ed Sheeran's record label.
We
So,
just,
for,
we actually saw it Sharon a few months ago here.
so there you go. You know, he signed him to his record company at 40.
Oh,
So there's still hope for me yet.
yeah, well,
Uh,
I want to see you opening up for Ed Sheeran someday.
I'm about to see Ed Sheeran opening up for me.
That's a good point.
You've got to be, what's the word I'm looking for?
He would be a good advocate. We need to get him somehow. I don't know how to, like you said earlier, I don't know how to reach these individuals, but he would be incredible. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw Michael J. Fox Foundation. They
Mhm,
reposted a post from a year ago, and Harrison Ford, I mean, he's one of my favorite actors in my whole lifetime.
mhm.
He actually did a public service address with other actors, but when I saw him doing it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Because, when these individuals like Ed Sheeran, if they get involved, we'll have so much more awareness. So
Absolutely.
if Mr. Sheeran, if you're listening, we Thomas wants you to opening for him, and I want you to advocate for
Yeah.
Parkinson's. So,
Yes, Ed. You know I'm a good friend of yours, Ed.
yeah, that would be amazing. If you were asked to write a script to a movie about your life story, what would you call
On any other day.
it? Nice. I love it.
Just simply because on any other day I could be okay.
Yeah. And then what drives you and motivates you? I know, as you mentioned, and I know as a caregiver, there are tough days. And I'm just
Mhm,
curious if you could share on those tough days, what kind of drives you to not give up? You don't have to do a lot of what you do, just
mhm.
like I don't. I mean, honestly, we know I can't unfortunately bring my mother back. Just last Saturday would have been her birthday, so it was a tough day.
Yeah,
But I don't want to shut the door because I want you to not have to go through this. And
yeah.
I also want no one to ever feel alone. My mother really did feel alone, and I did. I was shocked to realize, I say it every show, my mother never met somebody who had Parkinson's, and that's sad
Mhm.
because if I had the phone right now and called you, FaceTime or WhatsApp, we
Mhm.
didn't have that back then. I
No,
think she would have smiled a lot more. So,
yeah.
I'm just, on those tough days, what kind of drives you to keep pushing forward?
Well, I'm going to do the same thing as what you said. My mother was an absolute gem of a woman, and she'd done a lot of charity work for people in her local community. And she's told me something years and years ago. If you're ever feeling sad and lonely, and go and help somebody that needs help, and it'll make you feel better.
Yeah. No, I
And
love.
that's what I do.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Today, we can also dedicate the show in memory of your mother because
Yeah.
no matter what disease, illness, or even just old age, I don't want anyone to be forgotten. So,
No.
and I love the whole family for that. And as we wrap up a little, I just was curious, is there any other areas you wanted to touch on or that you wanted to share with the audience?
I think it's just, spread awareness anywhere you can. If somebody asks me about my condition, I tell them. I often say to people, if you don't want to know, don't ask me because I will tell you. Because if they don't know, because a lot of people don't know, and I spread a lot of awareness about the choir, who then it filters out to other people. If they meet somebody with Parkinson's, they don't automatically think, well, that guy's drunk or that guy's, a drug addict or whatever. They maybe take the time to think first before. So I try and raise awareness if you can at any chance you get.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that, and we'll have to have another talk in the future. I'm writing a book now, hopefully out next year, about policing and Parkinson's in the U.S. and how a lot of law enforcement are not aware, and that's a big
Yeah.
problem because, like you just said, literally, you're driving a car and you're uncontrollably shaking, and the officer thinks you're drunk or drugged, and it's going to end very bad. I'm really curious, and maybe we could talk off about how
Absolutely.
policing in the UK, because it's so different. My book's focusing on the US, but we should have something also on other countries. I just don't have the time and the knowledge, really for
Exactly.
outside. But I appreciate you always bringing up so many important areas. And the final question is, if you could leave, and you kind of did this, but maybe reiterate, if you could leave the Parkinson's community worldwide with some words of encouragement, what would they be?
Remember, it's just for today. You can only do what you can in one day.
No, I mean, that's really strong and powerful. I need to learn that because I always feel like I haven't done enough, even though, we do what we can. But I
You can
just,
only do what you can do.
some nights I don't sleep just thinking about my mother, but also you and all those still battling. And I hate it. I don't hate much in the world, but I do hate Parkinson. But I do love that we have the opportunity to join and band together for awareness globally, which is
Yeah.
really beautiful, beautiful thing. So I just wanted to tell you a little message, and to everyone listening, we love you, we support you, we care a lot about you, and you're never alone. I, along with Thomas, will advocate for you, and together I feel our voices are so much stronger. And I always say I'm just getting started, because even though I'm not, I always, there's days like we
Yeah.
mentioned earlier where I had my own issues and think back. But then I
Yeah.
see you on TikTok and I'm like, you know what, forget my back. Let's fight for Thomas and with him, and let's keep this going until we
Yeah.
find a cure. So I wanted to just thank you for joining me today, and thank you
You're
for
welcome.
the years now. I've never said that to anyone, but thank you for the years. It's
Yeah.
honor, privilege, and I feel that there's so much more good to come. Everyone, please support and follow Thomas on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, and also his website, which is amazing because you can not only listen to the music, but I believe, can they purchase it there too? Because
Yeah. There's some links to download it.
that's the most important thing. We got to support you. A lot of the money, I guarantee, will go for awareness and help support
Yeah.
Thomas. I don't like anyone having to pay for any medications for Parkinson's. I hope we can help raise awareness, but also fundraise for you to help in any way across the world. So I just want to thank you again for all you do, and keep up the fight. And I'll be right there by your side fighting till we find a cure. So thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Thank you also, everyone, for listening. This has been another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son, George. Please stay tuned. As you all know, and I say every show, we're not going to stop. I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to take a break, because Parkinson's disease doesn't take a break, so why should I? So please stay tuned. So much more to come, and we send our love. Thank you for listening, and please share this and support Thomas. He's doing some incredible things. Love you all.